time, I'd like to remind you that I'm not your financial advisor and this is not financial advice. My YouTube channel is for entertainment purposes only and to document my journey in the crypto space. I encourage you to pause the video at this time to read the full disclaimer. And now let's get on with the show. Okay guys, welcome back to the Crypto Wave. Nothing specific to talk about in this one. All kinds of things happened and I apologize. I know I'm always a little behind on trying to get this information to you, but let's just kind of start from the beginning and work our way through. First one is Daily Plus, still rocking and rolling. My percentage is going down over time, but that's just only because the pool is going down over time, but I'm still guaranteed that 13 daily Tron every day, and I'm either rolling it or withdrawing it. Just depends on what I got to do at that time. But this thing is still a juggernaut. I'm sure there's going to be something else coming to replace it because that's just Bank Teller's way of doing things. So on another side note, the swap, as you guys know, the Credits 2 came out that is buying swap through the contract. I'm still holding my banker. It did dip below 3, but again, like if you guys watched my last video about Credits 2, as this thing continues to go down, it's eventually going to hit the floor of what the contract is buying up in the credits contract. I don't know what that value is at the moment, but once it hits that value, it's going to do nothing but go up, just period. It's built into the contract. So I'm very comfortable just sitting here holding this banker and just letting it ride at the moment. So speaking of which, credits over here. So this is, it tells you exactly how much you're going to be getting for how much you put in there. I'm always, as you can even see right here, I'm supposed to be getting about 4.6. I'm getting just above that right now. And I should be getting about 0.314 banker daily. And that's about, but I'm a little bit above that, but I also didn't withdraw or I haven't claimed this in a little while. So this one is still going. I'm very comfortable keeping this right where it's at also. By no means I'm going to be taking this anytime soon, unless for some odd reason there's some brand new spectacular daily plus, but I don't see that coming anytime soon. Last but not least, Volt. As you guys know, I've been holding it. Life, the Bankroll Life will be coming out pretty soon. I believe sometime this week. Don't quote me on that, but we'll keep our eyes out on it. Bottom line is, buy the Volt where you can. My goal is to slowly get up to 1,000. I am currently at 791, so I'm getting there. And what I do is I try and just buy those dips when people are selling them off. When new Dapps and things come out, it goes down. For instance, Eth Prime. Eth Prime came out. People went into it, and when they did go into it, what did I do? I deposited in here, and then I took this loan out, 0.56 at the time. I took that out and immediately bought Volt with it, and basically to get me up to that 791. So I'm slowly getting there. I'll eventually have to pay that back, which I will. I have no problem with that. I'll pay this back. I'm going to let this ride. If you guys aren't familiar with Eth Prime, it's very similar to TronPrime. What does it do? Every time you deposit ETH, it goes into your portfolio. This portfolio at the moment has 4 things attached to it: Atlantis token, static power, unipower, token, and then the ETH box. Now, every time you deposit on the dashboard, if you deposit ETH, what it does is it distributes that ETH among these 4 things. So as these go up, your portfolio goes up. So really clever. It's not going to give you that hourglass drive, but I will say that when it opened, there was over 900 ETH that got put in there. There's only 179 players. There's actually like 1,000 people in a couple of different chats. So I have no doubt this is going to kind of keep raising. I think it's just a new concept. The other thing, if you think about it, is TronPrime. What ended up happening is he just kept adding more and more things to this portfolio. And every time he adds something, people deposit a little bit more ETH to get into that pool. And then that deposit obviously starts feeding into the dividends and things like that. So Eth Prime, I'll drop, I think there's referral. Yeah, I'll drop a referral down there if you guys feel so inclined to use it. That would be amazing. It's just like TronPrime again, and I have plenty of videos on TronPrime you can check out. So next thing was the static power. As you guys know, I'm part of the Unipower. I did put in my static here. So at the moment, I have 229. I actually just reinvested another 2. That was in my dividend. So I'm almost back to even. I think my initial deposit was about 250, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm getting there. I do have some held out just for liquidity because I buy it and sell it as it goes up and down. But I'm keeping this one in. And why am I keeping it in the static power? One is it's just holding so much of the static. Look at this right now. There's 502,000 power. There's only 1 million power that's in circulation, or that will be in circulation. So this is holding more than 50% of the power. Anytime somebody comes in, anytime somebody exits, I get dividends. On top of that, now this, if you notice, so where was it at? In the portfolio here, anytime somebody goes in and out of here, it goes into static power as well. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I got this in here. I'm going to ride this until I get back to my initial investment, and then any dividends I get are just going to go back into my liquidity. And then once that happens, it's just money right on top of it. So let's see, what else is there? There's Unibomb. I do have some in here. There's about 500. It says it's about $22 right now of Unibomb at stake for another 1 day, 16 hours. Really interesting. This was really cool. When you come onto this site, what ends up happening is if you look at this ignite, so if you click this ignite and your transaction is the one that ignites it, you actually get this as a reward. This goes into the staking pool and boosts everybody's stakes, and then this burns the token. So if you look, actually, this is an ever-growing, I don't remember how much there is. Oh, whoops, no, we don't want that. Let's go home. I just want to see what the total is. 10 million, I think it was. Yeah, initial supply of 10 million tokens, and every transaction and every day, basically, there's 3% getting burned. And the premise of this is it's going to create pressure on the price, because as it burns, it's going to be in more demand, supply and demand, simple as that. So at the moment, there's 400,000 tokens roughly floating around. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I do have 500 that's currently staked. I do have 30 that's just kind of free floating in there, because if you are staked, this look, somebody burned it while we clicked away. This staking reward, when somebody burns it, goes to your wallet automatically, immediately. It's actually really cool. So if you're just kind of sitting around watching it on Uniswap, it actually will just slowly tick up and tick up and tick up. Next, obviously, Frags. Frags is, I have a lot of stuff parked in here. As you guys know, I'm still in this Frag Tycoon. I am actually ROI'd on this and then some. There's only 101 players. This was actually 100 earlier, so somebody actually bought into this. My initial factory was 500. My factory is now worth 589. I'm still doing my upkeep. I'm actually at 111% because I click on it like clockwork. So in reality, I'm getting 5.5 a day. It's costing me 10 to upkeep it, but that's fine with me, simply because this frag is continuing going up. So whenever I ultimately do sell a factory, I'm going to get, I'll end up getting my value back. On top of that, the other 4.5 that I need typically comes from my bonds. If you come over to my bonds, actually, I'm constantly getting frag from here, as well as in my bond box. I'm getting bonds. So if I don't hit that mark, I can always sell the ones that I'm gathering from the bond box and such like that. So in reality, I'm kind of breaking even on it. On a side note, I did jump onto this frag FOMO one. I bought 51 keys at 1 frag each. I got 20 frags right now, so I'm not quite 50% ROI on that. We'll see how it plays out. I haven't played it in a while, so I thought I'd give it a go. But if you guys like that kind of FOMO type thing, this will actually get you bonds. Those bonds mature into frags. So TronPrime still in there. I'm almost done paying off the loan that I pulled out. I actually pulled out this loan, which I told myself I wouldn't do, but I ended up pulling this loan out in order to convert it to ETH so that I can get into Ethprime. So I'll get this paid off. I'm well within the positive here, but just as a side note, you can see here, if you go to your portfolio, look at all the different things now here that are in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things now in this portfolio, where Ethprime only has 4. So no doubt they're going to be adding more onto there and things like that. So let's see, we talked Volt, we talked Bankroll, we talked Frag, ETH. Oh, this one's really cool. So if you come over here to Tewkenaire, they have a new game coming out. So if you go over here to games, Tokenity, when you go into here, there is a new game coming out in 3 days, 22 hours. Why is this important? Well, I'm going to tell you why it's important. Because yours truly, for some odd reason, so here's all the different cards. For some reason, out of pure luck, I got chosen right here as one of the cards. I don't know how it's going to play out. We're slowly getting information, but my understanding is there's kind of team based for the cards. I'm waiting to see how this is going to play out, because here's actually the scores and things like that. I'm kind of curious how this team and that kind of stuff is going to work. But if you go down here to the games, how does the game work? It's a inflationary token relative to token with a 2% drip of the reward pool. A transaction of 50% is charged and 10% on exit. How's the card game work? Players compete with against one another in their respective team. The winning team shares the card reward pool. There are 30 cards available and starts at 10 token each. When the card is purchased, the card doubles in price. Card price decreases. It is cut in half after a 12-hour window if no one purchases that particular card. Card holders are rewarded a percentage of the reward for anybody who's holding it, and others are being purchased. The interesting part is I'm trying to see how the teams are going to acquire. I don't know if the teams are, if you get to pick to be on a team, or if it's just a matter of how many people I get to buy the card that's under my name. I'm not really sure how it's going to play out. We're waiting for some more details here. But there's obviously a winning team thing here. Here's the score and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to play out. Anyways, that should be really fun. As we get more information, keep an eye on it. We should be getting info. It's 3 days away. In the meantime, I'm still over here in Hex Frags. My stake is actually probably just about done. Oh, it's already unstaked. I apologize. I forgot it already ended. So I'm still sitting over here with 52,000. I have no idea what Hex is running right now. Let's see. Hex, and I have 52,000. Well, actually, let's do it this way. I have 37,313. 37,313. Oops. So I have to have, after exit fee, it'll be 50,535. Let's go back over to here. 50,535. So I'm actually just below an ETH, which is fine. I also am still sitting in Infinito, or Infinihex, sorry, Infinihex. Infinihex, I'm still getting 158 daily, which is awesome. So I actually have 1,000 just chilling right here that I can either roll or withdraw. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that. My stake over here is almost done. I don't have a whole ton in there, but it's still paying out. It's doing its thing. Speaking of Tewk, actually, I'm still over here in Infinito, which I think we already talked about. So I'm getting 9 a day. That's awesome. My tokens, my staking, I still don't have a ton, but I'm sitting with 1,185. I got to check because I do have a pool over here. Pool. Token. So I currently have about less than 1%, unfortunately, which is fine. Exchange rate, oh wow, it's 1.2. 1 Tron for 1.2. That's actually slowly creeping up. And then here's my pool share here. So I actually have 283 Tron with another 363 token in there also. Urgent, if you're looking for urgent. Okay. So that is that. Let me think. We talked about power. We talked about Volt. We talked about Bankroll. We talked about FRAG, Ethprime, TronPrime, Unibomb, Tewkenaire. I think that's all I can think of, actually. I know that for Bankroll, the Life will be coming out pretty dang soon. So my understanding is you actually, I don't know if you need ETH or, oh, I think it's ETH. So you actually deposit ETH. It takes a percentage. That percentage then gets dripped out to you, but you actually gain Volt as well as ETH as your dividends. So it's very similar to credits too. Which the only thing with credits too is I don't know if there's dividends as people come in. I believe there is though, but it's not as much as you would, what you typically expect with these big contracts that blow up and all that kind of stuff. So I have no doubt that Life is going to go well. I'm actually building my Ethereum balance back up, so I'm actually at 0.6 at the moment. I'm holding on to that for the Bankroll Life when it comes out. So All right, guys, that's about all I can think of. Nothing on the cusp that I'm aware of that's going to be launching short of the Tewkenaire card swapping game and Bankroll Life, which we don't know the launch date on that yet. So hope all is doing well. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop any comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'll drop some referrals if you guys are willing. That'd be amazing if you guys could use the referrals. I literally am, all these values that you're seeing on here, I'm literally trying to bring them up from pennies. Just because I don't have a whole lot of that, cash out my paycheck and roll it into these types of things. So, all right, guys, everybody have a good one, and I appreciate you tuning in. Have a good time.